Hi, my name is Jessica Fitzgerald. I'm a social worker.
Hi, I'm Layla Mortazavi.
It's nice to meet you. Is first name basis okay with you?
Yes.
Okay. So Layla, we'll be meeting here in my office every week at this time. Our sessions are usually going to be 30 minutes. Today we're just going to take the time to get to know each other and see what you'd like to talk about. The purpose of our meetings is just for you to talk about anything that's bothering you or any challenges you're facing. Um, and before we continue, I just want you to know that everything that you and I talk about is confidential. The only time that I am required to share the information with anyone else is if you inform me that you want to harm yourself or someone else. Do you have any questions about that?
No.
Okay, so what would you like to talk about today?
I just came here to talk about my relationship with my mom. It's not a bad relationship, but we have a really rough past and a lot of things still bother me about it. She makes little comments that are very derogatory towards me. Like not all the time, but enough to where it bothers me.
So it sounds like a lot of your problems now are coming from things that have happened in the past. Can you tell me a little bit about what started the problems between the two of you?
Yes, I we definitely had a rocky relationship when I was a teenager, like most teenagers do, and we didn't talk a lot through that time because I spent a lot of time trying to avoid her, but my parents were really strict with me and wouldn't let me see my boyfriend, stuff like that. So basically when I was 17, I ended up getting pregnant with my boyfriend who I'd been with for a year. And after that happened, my parents would not speak to me at all. I moved out of my house and got an apartment. And we didn't talk for almost a year. And then my mom started talking to me actually on Thanksgiving when after my daughter was born. But ever since then, even though our relationship has gotten better, she still will say, you know, because of you, that time of my life was so hard, and it's been almost 8 years.
Mm-hmm. So going back to that time, you were 17 and pregnant, and obviously that is a hard time. Do you feel like you probably, or you may resent your parents for not being there to help you through that, or making it more difficult than it could have been?
Yeah, definitely. It was really hard not having their support. I was okay financially. I mean, it was hard, but I was able to take care of myself with the help of my daughter's dad and everything. But it was hurtful that they weren't there for me. I spent the holidays by myself, and I cannot imagine doing that to my child. No matter what she does, I would always be supportive, even if I didn't agree with it. So.
And because you brought that up, that you couldn't imagine doing that to your child, do you think that there were any or you felt any bad feelings about them not being not only there for you, but not being around when your daughter was born and for the first year of her life?
Yeah, it's really hard because most people celebrate that time, and for me, I wanted to be happy about it. I mean, it wasn't going to change, so you might as well just do what you need to do and be happy. But it was really hard for me because I couldn't be completely happy because I couldn't even talk to my siblings. They had blocked me from even contacting them, and it was just really hurtful.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I just couldn't imagine doing that to my child. So I guess my issue right now is my mom and I have a good relationship. We spend time together and we talk and have gotten over it. But every now and then she'll just bring it up and be like, you basically acts like I ruined her life or something like that. It's really weird, and she makes really critical comments to me about everything, down to my weight or what I'm wearing or stuff like that. I guess all of it is just too much sometimes.
Mm-hmm. In the past, have you spoken to her about how these comments and things she does make you feel?
I kind of have, but I get really I'm the type of person that like waits until something bothers me so much that I'm going to like fire out at her. So I'm if I do talk about it, it's at the point where I'm like really angry and can't like I don't like yell or anything, but I just maybe I'm not as nice about it as I could be.
Mm-hmm. So is communication with her something that you think could help the situation?
Yeah, I think so. For me, it's like, I understand that it was a hard time for them. I'm not trying to take that away, but I want her to understand that it was a hard time for me too. Like, I feel like, she's not being empathetic towards me. Like, imagine yourself being in my shoes. I can imagine that it was hard for her. And I've, of course, like, apologized, but she's never shown me any type of emotion for me. I don't know.
So maybe from what you said, what you are looking for her is something just as simple as like an apology for that time
Yeah.
in your relationship.
Yeah, I think that would make me feel so much better.
Yeah. And you said before that your siblings and everyone was cut off from you. Is that still something that's an issue, or do you speak to them about these problems, or has that changed, like with your siblings or your father?
With my dad, we just don't really talk about it. It took him a really long time, longer than my mom, to decide to talk to me again. But he doesn't bring it up, and we just kind of, it's okay with us. With my siblings, it was really hard for me because it was at a time in their life when they were going through a lot of changes. So I felt like after that year not seeing them, they were completely different, and it's just hard for me. Like, it hurts me, but now we all have a really good relationship. We don't ever really talk about it. My sister and I will because we're really close, but like we just kind of swept it under the rug, and that's okay with me. It would be rough if they were doing what my mom's doing and keep throwing it up in my face.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever feel like it would be better to have talked about it more? Because from what you say, it seems like a lot of the problems come from issues in the past just not being addressed.
Yeah, I think that I don't know if I really want to talk about it. I just, if we're going to talk about it, if we must, can my mom be more understanding from my point of view? Like, I know that I've done a lot of apologizing, and that's okay with me, but I'm kind of done apologizing about it. Like, I took care of myself. It's not like I'm living off of her and made her life really difficult because of this. Like, I take care of my kid, I go to school, I work, like, so since I'm at this point, it would be nice to just kind of either let it go or show some sort of empathy about it.
And I noticed that when you start talking about your mom, even from then and now, you have some nervous habits with your hands going on. It seems like there's a lot of tension and maybe you feel frustrated with the situation because it's gone on so long. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Like, the comments are just really hurtful and kind of annoying at this point. So, and like, I don't want her to do that in front of my daughter, and I don't. It's just hard for me because, like, now that I'm a mother myself, it's just weird that I can see it from a mother's point of view somewhat. I mean, I know my daughter's still young, but I just wouldn't do those things.
So from what you've told me so far today, it sounds like while you and your mother have had a rough past, for the most part, you've patched things up, but you still feel like some things are missing and you would like to hear something of an apology from her, more understanding to your situation, and maybe more open lines of communication so you don't have these little comments she makes here and there frustrating you.
Yeah.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that sounds exactly how I feel.
So maybe for next time we could talk about how you could try and have more open lines of communication with your mom to maybe try and improve the situation so you in the future can have a better relationship.
That sounds good. That I'm sure would be really helpful for us. So
Okay, did you have any other questions or anything you'd like to add to that?
No.
Okay, well, it was really nice meeting you, and I had a good session with you today.
thank you.
Thank you.